say, please tell me to get off this subject if it's none of our business, but it must rankle you, and it's another one of the problems of celebrity, because you do have an ex-wife who has written a lot about you in the Sunday, whatever they're called, tabloids, or seems to be willing to give interviews and so on. Can you just dismiss that sort of thing from your mind and just say half of those things are not true anyway and it doesn't make any difference?
Well, the only reason I object, this is my ex-wife who wanted to publish a book, and 1/3 of the book were letters from me to her, which under English law, the copyright of the letter is the writer, not the recipient. And so I objected to using my letters for profit.
Yeah, that's right. The property
belongs to the writer.
The letter is the property of the writer. And I don't know if that's true here or not. Interesting.
I'm not up on American law.
Don't know. But you know, people do continue to read that stuff, and there is some authority to print, because even I, who know that things have been written about me that aren't true, I've been in places where I never was in print and so on and so on. Still, you see it in print, and you think, well, it's got to be true or they couldn't print it. Even after Carol Burnett has won her suit.
And wonderful. I'm so glad she did.
Yeah, I'm too. A friend of mine was having an affair with Sophia Loren, according to this paper.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And there were pictures of the two of them, doctored so that it looked like they weren't really trying to make it a picture of them together, and yet the eye would take it to be that. And all about how she spent 3 days in his apartment making pasta for him.
I hate that sort of thing. Who was it?
And,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was gay.
No. Really? I think he is, because I read that in another one. But I know it's true. The last time he saw Sophia Loren was in 1967. It was the only time they met, and said hello and had a movie premiere or something. And as if this thing she hadn't even been in this country at the time this supposedly happened.
Oh, it's...
So, but I guess they assume, well, certainly who's going to sue for someone claiming they had an affair with Sophia Loren? I mean,
certainly not I.
You know, there are people who would pay to get that in the paper. Persuaders, The Persuaders, was that one of your happiest experiences?
Yes, I had, well, it was about 13 and a half months. 12 months were fun.
Yeah. Tony Curtis.
Yeah.
Is he fun to work with? Seems like he is. When I've met him on this show.
Well, Tony's a wonderful actor.
Yeah.
And quite an extraordinarily good comedian.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing is that Tony wouldn't stick to the script half the time, which made life a little difficult for me because we had to keep up with the plot. But we had laughs.
Yeah.
Well, I always have laughs. So does Tony.
You're known for that. People always say when Roger gets here, the party picks up. He always has a joke or something like that.
Filthy as a rule, but
funny nonetheless.
I heard a good one the other day.
Can you?
Yes, I can tell it.
Thank goodness.
There was you're allowed to talk about 98-year-old? We're not going to offend 98-year-old people, are we? No, 98-year-old man who married a 17-year-old girl. And his friend said, well, how is it? He said, it's wonderful, it's wonderful. He said, but what about the physical side, the sexual side of your marriage? He says, oh, it's marvelous, marvelous. Almost every night. Almost every night? He says, yes, almost Monday, almost Tuesday,
I thought you were going to tell another joke that you can't tell. It starts out the same way.
How are you going to stop me?
There'd be a whole lot of... There's nothing I could do. I throw myself between you and the camera, I guess. And then ask you to tell it later. But I guess everybody does like gossip, you know?
Well, I suppose it's the reason, you know, sort of that papers like The Enquirer and gossip columnists make a living. I got very angry with an English paper a few months ago that took a story article. First of all, they took a lie, but they had lifted the story from a piece that had run in the New York Post. That was supposed to be a light-hearted piece talking about Cubby Brockle and I playing who is the producer of the Bond films, playing backgammon, and that I had won $250,000 from him, which is absolute nonsense. You know, he'd have shot me before he'd have given me $250,000. No, and you know, which is absolute nonsense. We play and we shout at one another, but money doesn't change hands. I mean, it goes down on paper. But anyway, this journalist did the piece, and then an English paper picked it up, and they printed it and joined it up with a story that had happened 2 years before in France, where I'd had a bad road smash. And the story read that I had, celebrating a $250,000 win, had smashed into a car and damaged a girl. And it was as though I were drunk and I didn't care. And then the story went on and I didn't give her any money. And I mean, really foul, you know, which is gossip column writing, which I loathe. Yeah. And rightly so.
Liberace won a huge suit in England years ago against
the Daily Mirror, yes,
Cassandra.
Cassandra, yeah.
Hasn't the effect of that lasted and quieted things a bit?
No, well, they still go on trying. You know, the paper was very apologetic. They gave the following day, after they got a nasty letter, they came out with a half-page retraction, and then gave a little money at my request to the Police Dependence Fund. We're back to policemen
Police
again.
yeah.